Just on the storyboarding note, yes, I don't do storyboards. Two habits that I have that are terrible as a filmmaker are I don't outline scripts before I write them, and I don't storyboard before I do scenes. Crob rocked up. Crob's an artist as well. Like, he drawy stuff. He's fucking tops. But yeah, he started to do storyboards. I was like, mate, no, I've got it in my head. Trust me. He did the first couple of scenes on the storyboards, but the point I want to make about it is it's a terrible habit, but I am, in terms of NLP, or neo-linguistic processing, which suggests that people are either visual, audio, or sensory, I am visual like you would not believe. So I can, when I write, I can see the scene that I'm shooting, and when I'm thinking the night before about a scene, I know every angle. And just the night before, literally, I just, in the dark, I was just walking through every scene, seeing it from the perspective of the camera. So the idea is, I would suggest for your first time out, you storyboard the crap out of your scenes. Like, have everything you want a picture of, so you can show your DP. But luckily, we managed to.
Yeah, and it also helps when you've got a rapport with the person you're working with, and there was me in the camera. That was all that we really needed. So Dave could get it across to me. Storyboards are essential if you have more than one person driving the camera. If you have lighting, if you have grips, if you have anyone else that needs to know something about a shot, then you're going to storyboard.
And it gets to the stage where we were discussing it before, where you would even go as far as doing test footage. On Iron Man, some of the best footage on there is them getting the prototype suit and just walking around the Howard Hughes hangars, seeing what shots looked cool. So then they, even better than a storyboard, for shots in motion, they could go, look, this is the kind of thing we're looking for. Yeah. Play it to them on a laptop or something.
Previs sort of stuff.
Previs. Wow, I can't. When we get to talk about previs, if or when we get to do previs, my God. Any other things that you noticed with the camera? Well, sorry, lighting stock. One redhead, one light from Bunnings. I don't know what the equivalent of Bunnings is in the US. Probably Walmart. A Walmart. Yeah. We'll show you the light. So one redhead, which is a professional film light, and one that I bought. It's a 500 watter, but I bought it from a hardware store, and I bought it for about $30 Aussie. So I imagine it'd probably be, if you're buying it in the US, be like $10. That. We did it all floor lighting with that. Non-tungsten. Tungsten's one thing you have to bear in mind. The redhead is tungsten. That's non-tungsten, but
they heat up very quickly. So
fire hazard.
All lights do that. Yeah. So keep them on non-flammable materials, and
keep an eye on them.
Yeah, don't let people stand on top of them.
Yes.
But in terms of low Barry budget style of lighting, easy, because you can move them, you can pick them up, you can put on no barn doors or anything like that, but. We're not going for complete noir masterpieces.
Yeah, we're operating within the constraints of the budget that we've got. So is there anything else on the actual shooting side of things?
No, it was just good fun.
And perhaps our final session, unless we think of anything in the general comments, fake blood. This is something that if you are making films, I don't care if you never even want to get into the horror genre, you will need to make fake blood. And we came up with the perfect recipe, because the things you want in fake blood are, of course, A, realism. You want it to look real, you want it to look like blood, you want it to look like someone's got nailed. B, consistency. Like, you can get a real look with a really watery consistency, but it doesn't look right when it starts to drip. So you want a bit of thickness or viscosity in it. And 4, you want it to be easy to wash off, because we got it all over the place. All over our actors, all over our set. But
plants, walls, windows, doors.
But the recipe that we've come up with is 100% water soluble. Not a guarantee, but no, we'll show you. And our recipe for fake blood is simple. Oh, and B, blood delivery equipment. This is my favourite Barry improvisation so far. We were going to use water pistols, because we just had shots where getting blood packs and things like that, the explosives to run a blood pack or a squib, well, a squib's the charge, but a blood pack's a thing where, you see guys and they, the explosives license to run that tiny little charge, I'm going to be being checked by ASIO, which is the Australian CIA, but pretty piss weak, for the next 3 years to get the license to be able to do that. So we had to get the blood onto me in a way that looked realistic. Water pistol's not going to do it, because we're using a thick blood, and it's just going to clog the water pistol. But we found the Super Slimer. Which is a kid's toy, but it's designed to shoot slime instead of blood. And it is brilliant. Our recipe, strawberry topping. About 50% of your mix, just a bit more than half, strawberry topping. Any kind of strawberry topping. Just check, because this is the key ingredient, that it is water soluble, but nearly all of it is, because it's just basically sugar based. So strawberry topping, about half. Then red food colouring. Any kind of red food colouring will do it. And again, just double check that it is water soluble. And use a lot. I haven't, in fact, this mix may be a bit light on red food colouring because we only had half a bottle left, but this is 50ml, and we easily used 40ml in the mix on the day. And then a bit of water, just to give it the consistency, into the super slimer, or whatever delivery device you're using. Like, a lot of the time you can get away with just putting it on the set, or pre-locating it. And
shake well before squirting.
Yeah, be very careful with these. If you do find the super slimer, just be really careful.
Yeah, there's no safety switch on these things.
Yes. Did you get that? Oops. I'll clean that.
So if Dave points this towards the camera just to demonstrate, I will kill him.
And that's a bit watery because I've washed it out, so it's being primed with water. But as we get through to the more realistic, yeah, look at that.
Nice slow drip.
At that. And
comes up beautifully on camera.
Yeah, it comes up really good. And water soluble. I would do the thing spraying it on the wall and then showing you to wash it off, but I can't be asked, really.
You can trust us.
Yeah, trust me, it is water soluble. And anything else that we learned from the day? That's about it. It's making a Barry's film is a huge amount of fun.
Yeah. Well, actors.
Oh, yes, volunteers.
We had a lot of extras.
Yeah, we had a lot of extras. How we got them, we advertised in community newspaper, we advertised at the Film and Television Institute, and by the way, Phil and the crew from FTI, love yous, babies. Phil and Yvette, who put
Graham and
who
everyone at FTI.
Yeah, they funded Crop's film, and we're not just saying thanks for that because they haven't given me anything other than real support, but real support. No, they're great.
This is a website right here.
Yes. I just put a classified up. Any FTI member can put a notice up there, and I had a huge response. I also advertised in a local community newspaper, and was just very straight up with people. No money, no safety equipment, no insurance.
No lines, so you know.
No lines, and we'll
Except for.
we'll do a lot of it in post. We're going to be covering you in green body paint, but again, make sure that the body paint was completely water soluble, so you can just wash it off. But we had the most incredible response, and so to Leah, Lily, John, Jess, Hannah, Sally. Thank you so much. Brilliant stuff. We'll get as many as you can back. Beautiful thing about shooting zombies too, we can change the look, green them up again, and make them look slightly different.
Just a different shade of green and a different shirt. Bingo.
Yeah, but again, and the key in terms of working with them is just being organised. We made sure we had our schedule. I'll do a separate insert, this way I did with the script writing, I'll do a separate one on the schedule that we used, so you can see how it works. But just be really organised, be really upfront with them, feed them.
Lots of food, lots of cold drink if it's a hot day, and lots of tea and coffee if it's a cold day.
And that's the final thing too. Low budget's so hard to keep low budget. I'm forking out of my own pocket for this, but I wanted to make sure I had cold drinks, I had food, I had chicken, I had pizza. Everything. It really adds up. I'm going to keep, as one of the DVD extras for I Am Bish, I'm going to keep like cha-ching, cha-ching, the price coming up on screen. But it gets it's really easy to get out of hand. But by the same token, a lot of the techniques that we've shown. It's in the hundreds of dollars, not the thousands of millions.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of a budget for, say, Australia, we're still pretty much ahead.
I can't say anything about that movie.
Probably best you don't.
Yes.
All
and
right.
on that note...
Let's wrap up the first complete Barry's Guide to Low Budget Film.
On location. See you later.